What we're doing now is we're attaching a fitting to the forestay. Strapping tape is what I often use for rigging because it's much stronger and it's slippery on the outside, which comes in handy for a number of uses. Duct tape is particularly good because you can rip it with one hand. Okay, now we can work with the forestay easily. You'll notice that I cut the forestay with black tape. Use some wire cutters. You have to use real wire cutters, not bolt cutters. Bolt cutters crush the wire, and wire cutters cut the wire. This gives me a clean end, as we'll discover here. There. You can see how nicely that cut. It's not crushed at all. You put the tape on for a good ½ inch on either side. Wrap it in electrical tape and then cut it with some wire cutters. If you don't have large wire cutters, you can usually borrow them from a chandlery. If you give them their driver's license, they'll loan you a pair of wire cutters. This is called a Norseman fitting, and it's unlike the standard compression fittings that you need to have a very special hydraulic press for. Norseman fitting can be fitted by hand with just a few hand tools. There's an inside piece to the Norseman fitting and then two outside pieces. We're going to embed the inside piece inside the end of the wire. Then we'll slide the top outside piece down, and this lump that we're making will get trapped in the middle of the device. And that's what holds it. It's really quite simple. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to slide the top of the Norseman fitting up the cable and secure it with a piece of duct tape. After all, this top piece needs to come down to trap the center. Next thing that we're going to do, we're going to insert the insertion inside the wire. We need to insert it 1½ diameters of wire up from the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark about 1½ diameters of the wire. Yeah, let's call it there. And we're going to make ourselves a nice little mark. That's how deep it needs to be. I'm going to unlay the wire. You need to use a screwdriver because if you use your fingers, you're going to cut them. See that the inner wires twist in the opposite direction. There we go. Come on off. So now you can see the inner core. Slide the inner piece up the inner core. Until it gets to our marks, right about there. Now we're going to wrap the outer core back around very neatly, surrounding that inner piece. And you can now see that the inner piece is encased by the outer and it's in position. Next, we're going to take the lower piece and we're going to squish this up. I pushed it too far up, so we're going to pull the inner piece down a little bit. The insert should align with the top of the inner piece. Now we can undo the tape holding the upper piece. And we can screw it together for our test fit. You'll notice that a Norseman fitting comes with anti-seizing compound already on the threads. When you tighten the unit, take a look at the direction that the wires twist in. See how they're twisting down around this way? You don't want to unwind the wires by tightening this. So if I were to twist the top piece in this direction, I'd be unwinding the wires. So what I'm going to be doing once I initially have contact is I'm going to be screwing the bottom up this way, which winds that outer bunch of wires tightly. If I were to tighten this with the top nut, because the wires in this case go this direction, if I were to tighten the top nut, I would be loosening those wires and getting them out of position. It's very important that the wires seat symmetrically together.